Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to game number 2 in this best out of 3. It's Zenith versus Neolution Thailand, of course. And, well, currently Zenith leading the series 1-0, and they were leading it in very convincing fashion. But a win is only a win. You can win 40-0, or you can win 0-40. It doesn't matter. You only have one game to your name if you're Zenith. You need to take the second one here. I'm LD. I'm joined by Luminous, and we are casting the G1 Champions League Phase 2 of the Asia Qualifier. The winner of this series moves on as the final team into that Elite 8 into Phase 3. Lumi, we just watched Neolution Thailand get absolutely steamrolled. Do you think they have it in them to force that Game 3?
Well, I'm not sure, but they better try really, really hard. And that steamroll really came from XY's Tinker, which the respect is there, so they do ban it out. And that's going to let Batrider, who Zenith first pick, or no, actually second pick here, as Nyx Assassin was the first pick here. Still very, very powerful first pick. But Batrider is another hero that is just so damn versatile. Great at every single lane, even the jungle, if that's what you need. And of course, he generally wins those lanes if it's a 1v1 matchup. But Neolution, I think they pulled out something similar to beat out Tongfu, the Invoker. Or am I remembering different team? No, we were.
I think you're remembering
that was
Zenith.
LGD Int. Yeah, no. The team that actually took a game away from LGD Int used the Invoker. And Dazzle, remember that game?
Oh yeah, Neolution International. That's right. That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
Also Neolution. That's why I got a little bit confused. But
yeah, well, you were. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Actually, if either team was going to pick Invoker, I would have assumed Zenith. I mean, they have Ice.
Yep.
They also have XY, who's quite really impressive Quas-Wex Invoker. I haven't seen his Quas Exhort. I imagine it's pretty good, but well, it will be Neolution Thailand picking that up, and we'll see what kind of a build he goes for. The Quas-Wex build is pretty good in the mid game, just for annoying a Batrider. When he jumps in, you just cold snap him, you tornado him, you allow your team to disengage. Exhort is the option if you want to go for more of a global ganking strategy with the Nyx and the Invoker. We'll have to see. I think either option is viable, but with the Darkseer pick, I feel like Vacuum into Tornado into Impale would be really strong. So we'll see what kind of style he goes for. We'll also see what they go for as far as a hard carry goes, because they have not picked one yet, and I imagine if you're Zenith, you start banning those out right now.
Yeah, and there is a Shadow Fiend being banned out. Actually, I'm quite worried about Invoker's matchup in terms of laning. Any solo 1v1 lane, he loses to Bat, he loses to Lone Druid. So, I mean, either the Neolution Esport kind of protects him very well, like maybe even a bot lane farm Invoker, or he's going to have a very, very tough time. Now, Darkseer doesn't match up against Batrider or Lone Druid too well. I think he's okay against the Bat. How often do we say Darkseer and Invoker don't lane well? But I mean, Zenith's heroes is pretty good here.
Yeah, I think Darkseer versus Batrider is slightly better, but I fully agree with you. I mean, still Batrider is going to have a decent time in that lane, and I mean, if that's the matchup. And Lone Druid does quite well against Darkseer. They'll both get farmed, but that mid lane, that's going to be the big concern if that's where the Invoker is. I really agree with you that this Invoker's going to have to last it exceptionally well to pull ahead in that lane. And also to be worried, Batrider can dive you even as early as level 2 if he gets enough stacks on you, depending on your item build. Often we'll see Invokers a smart Invoker player will just rush the boots. They'll delay that extra damage. And Neolution Thailand, we're looking at some global gank Lumi. Potentially, if they go Sunstrike, they've got their hands on a Wisp. Before I let you talk, I just want to say one more thing, which is Teletubby is back. And so for that reason alone, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say we're going to Game 3. Because the way Teletubby played before, I mean, he carried this team on his back. I think he's got it in him, man.
Man, well, they better. Again, we're going to see a very, very standard pushing strat here for the Zenith. Kind of slow and grind you down with pushes on the Baron front line here. Healing Ward in the back to protect them. But I think more important to point out is that the magical immunity here for Juggernaut is going to be a very, very important survival tool for him against a lot of these ganks. And also with the Wisp pickup, I think this might be Exhort Invoker to have that Sunstrike being that +1 spell in that gank. But Wisp Nyx Assassin as a supporting duel, they need levels. I'm not sure. Well,
it's yeah. Well, that just happened.
The unstoppable force is in the house.
Yeah, let's see what they go for with the lanes. You know, sometimes we'll see the European teams that they were really favoring the dual lane mid CK Wisp, but the thing is the mid pulls are much more difficult nowadays, and you can't really dual lane mid against a Batrider. Batrider will just beat that dual lane, probably kill both of them. So I guess we're probably looking at the Invoker there, a tri-lane with the Nyx Wisp CK. And then a Darkseer. I imagine he'll start in the jungle up against Shadow Demon Juggernaut, because at level 1 they could just kill him if he doesn't take Surge. And, well, we'll see. Probably gets level 2, then maybe looks to go into that off lane. We'll see what he does. As for Zenith, looks like they need that secondary support Who's it going to be? We'll find out. Maybe something like the Lina.
Or Lina would be pretty good to actually give you that burst. I'm thinking of Jakiro. You want a support that gives you range as well as being pretty tanky. Jakiro is a pretty nice matchup with Shadow Demon opening and then Ice Path layering on top.
There's also a Rubik.
Rubik is a good choice as well, but he feels so slow and squishy in that case, and I'm not sure if you want it against Chaos Knight, because if you get Reality on, you're dead as a Wisp.
Oh, the Ice Naga. Well, generally it's the Ice Naga with Zenith, but maybe it's a support Naga this game, because she's not a bad support here. I mean,
she's actually pretty good as a support.
It could also be a 4-position Bat Rider, and, I mean, potentially they just send... how are they going to lane this? I guess Bat Rider mid. It could be the offensive tri-lane with Shadow Demon, Juggernaut, Naga, then Lone Druid safe lane. It looks like it will be the support Naga. So something the Pinoys love to run is this support Naga Siren, and she's pretty good against Chaos Knight. The net, of course, you will just get stuck in that. Even if you Manta, it still sticks on you. I think even if you Phantasm, it does as well. So a nice ability to have versus her. And the minus armor from her passive, or not from her Riptide, pretty damn good against Wisp, who starts at 0 base armor.
Yeah, for me, the big pickup about the Nagas here is using that song as a counter gank method against a relocate. She comes in, you sleep, and everybody stands for a couple seconds.
That's probably a better point.
Yeah, Whip leaves, and you wave bye-bye, nobody dies. So if the team gets in trouble, she basically sticks to the carry, whether it's Lone Druid or Bat Rider or Juggernaut in that case, and they will be fine. And also, it's a great tri-lane, like you talked about, what they can do, and we'll see if they want to butt heads against tri-lane. Wisp is often noted as a weak tri-lane hero early on, even though well, no armor, gets killed easily, yada yada yada. So it could be offensive tri-lane there as well, but we'll see how Neolution as well as Zenith run their lane.
As for Zenith, it actually is going to be the off-lane Lone Druid, which is not a bad way to run it because Naga is level dependent as far as supports go. A pretty decent utility support hero, sure, but needs more levels than something like a Shadow Demon. So I think this is a fair choice, but they are going to be giving away a lot of early levels to the Chaos Knight Wisp, and while Lone Druid can do well against some lanes, this lane, especially if they end up tri-laning, which I imagine they will be, can shut him down fully. Although CK Wisp are heading top. Let's see how they do. But quickly, Lumi, we should introduce the teams. On the side of Neolution.TH, their backs are against the wall, but Teletubby is back in the house. Maybe he can save the day for them. It's going to be Noxum on the Nyx Assassin. Teletubby going that safe lane Invoker. Lots of stats early. We'll assume Exhort build for now, but never know for sure. Sometimes that Null Talisman of Quaswex is the choice nowadays in Southeast Asia. In Treso, playing the Chaos Knight, we are going to have Upper on the Wisp, and last but not least, it will be KYT on the offlane Darkseer. And then on the side of Zenith, who do we got?
Yeah, Zenith, Ice is going to be playing the Shadow Demon, was able to get down an early ward, and in fact scoped out the enemy ward being dropped down, immediate sentry being done by X-Freedom on the Naga Siren, so already very far off ahead. Yamate going to be playing the Juggernaut as a tri-lane farmer. XY going to mid lane here with Bat Rider, going for the quick bottle, and last but not least, Ice, scoping in the jungle, was able to put down 2 Observer Wards without being punished as a Lone Druid, and in this particular lane, without Nyx Assassin being able to pull, and the fact that Teletubby's going to have a tough time, especially when there's going to be pulling like this, I might have to even favor Lone Druid on the long lane by himself.
I don't really like the dual lane mid. I think that's just for 2 reasons. One is, like you said, they're not going to be able to shut down the Lone Druid really at all with this combo. Later on, maybe, but not for the early levels for sure. And Bat Rider can just flat out destroy this dual lane. Wisp, he can maybe tether away to safety, but once you get enough napalm stacks off, Wisp, if you flame break her back into your Firefly, she will just melt in a matter of seconds. Those auto attacks are going to chew through her with 0 armor. They're going in right now, but there is Firefly, and this might just be a turnaround. Upper needs to run away immediately. XY driving him back. It works out okay. They do force out the Firefly, but, I mean, you see the potential. That wasn't even many auto attacks. She wasn't even in the Firefly, and dropping quickly. They are looking to... They're not even mid-pulling either. KYT's just jungling, so... I don't know. What do you think? I feel like I'd rather see them run the defensive tri-lane, put the Invoker mid, and maybe just give them some good wards and play defensively.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. I mean, Teletubby's going to have a tough time, and maybe that's why they're putting so much emphasis on Teletubby, saying that you're going to be the one... If we're going to win, we're going to win it through you. Maybe that's kind of that, and basically give them that protective farm. But, I mean, I like Wisp hitting 6 Quake, and just making sure that you can pull it whenever you want, having those sentry available is important. You're going to have to see the courier delivering that bottle. Yes, the advantage of having your CK Wisp mid is that your Wisp, you basically take CK's bottle, and then go take all the runes and whatnot. Also, look towards him to put that sentry on the courier, deliver it to the bot lane, and start dewarding. He needs to be doing that. I'm not sure why he's holding on that sentry, because I ain't doing a jack squad on him right now.
Well, the one nice thing that we haven't talked about is maybe Upper goes into the jungle with Darkseer, just leeches a little experience. Sure, Darkseer is very level dependent, but if you can get Wisp in early level 6, perhaps it's a decent trade-off. Haystern picked up by Ice, and that early dewarding already paying dividends, as currently, they don't have rune vision. You look at Zenith, they see everything. I mean, their vision is pretty sensational. Look at Ice Ice Ice. Level 3 already on this bot lane. Nyx is level 1. Wisp is level 2. So Ice 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 out-leveling the two supports. I believe he's got more experience than they have combined. His Bear's now back at base. He hasn't even used a resummon yet. They still haven't managed to deward because those sentry wards, like you said, haven't gone bottom lane yet. And that's really hurting them. Mid lane, yeah. Here we go. Initiation. They get the 3-second stun. Oh, that might be enough to get the kill. Big 3-second stun. A little RNG going their way. If that was 1 or 2 seconds, could easily be a turnaround. But with that, they have the burst. They get a crucial first blood and something they really needed. So a great start for Neolution and what looked like a dangerous lane for them.
Ooh, and Tracer gotta get back, actually. There's a disruption coming in. Is there a flame break? Yes, there is. Pushing him back. Is there gonna be a tether? A little bit MS increase. Those wisp balls providing the slow, and not gonna be enough. I mean, Upper did everything he can. He even had a tango on him to actually give a little bit more regen, but the comeback from XY was simply too quick, and he's actually gonna get a bottle as well. Upper should need to get the next rune. So he should be starting to get ready to camp one. And if he does get the rune, though, it's going to be good. You can see that they're at least forcing Ice to rotate on the mid lane. So at worst, a 2v2 mid. And I think with Tracer getting the first blood, this lane is getting a lot. It's a lot more even than we give it credit for. Yeah,
the first blood really does turn. And I mean, I feel like that's a big luck there as well. And maybe a bit of an overextension. But they get the kill. In spite of that, XY has his bottle now. Does he have his boots yet? Yeah, bottle back at base. So he's still got bottle boots in spite of that early death. And I mean, farming reasonably well. He's sitting on 14-1 CS, basically even within Trace. So Juggernaut out farming that Invoker. And the big thing for me is they're not shutting Ice 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 down. Because they're not running the defensive tri-lane, they can't stop him from farming. They do have access to the early Sunstrike. Noxum's also still not getting farmed. They still haven't dewarded. The sentry wards have just been city mid. Upper's going to roam bottom, but while he's doing that, Tracer's got to be a little bit more cautious, and Wisp isn't leveling during this time, so they're starting to make some adjustments to the lanes, Lumi, but they have missed a lot of crucial time for experience, and you compare that to Zenith, constant pulling. X-Freedom already level 3, has his boots up, has sentries of his own, and, I mean, getting more out of their supports as well.
Yeah, Wisp rotating on bot lane. Not sure why Noxum did not go for the stun, and because of that, missed an opportunity on the kill. I mean, leaving Ice 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 free farming like this on the bot lane, it's okay, but that just means that Neolution have to make those ganks very, very worth it. And those ganks have to be successful when they actually come in the mid game. Because Lone True is one of those heroes that you could give him farm, but he doesn't, again, put those farm into winning the game right now. He's one of those quote-unquote mid and late game hero. And because of that, you give him a little bit of farm early, you gotta get those gank off later. But for now, Neolution more worried about getting that Wisp to level 6.
Wisp gonna, oh, wow, 5 stacks on the Trace, so he does not want to go in. He'll get disrupted. There is a Firefly. There won't be a Flame Break, though. And actually pulls it back into the tether stun. No reality or no cast bolt. There it goes. Sunstrike to fly. They get the kill on the Batrider. 4 heroes converge on mid. So Yamate and X-Freedom probably just gonna use this time to push. But they get a kill. Every bit of experience so crucial. Every time they're getting a kill like this, even if they're trading a lot for it, it's getting Wisp close to 6. And for me, that makes it worth it for Neolution, because they need that Wisp to get a quick level 6.
Yeah, it really does. Invoker, I mean, he threw a Sunstrike, the power of this Exort build, not needing to be there to help him out. And of course, it really forces Zenith's hand as well. Whenever there's a one person dead on the mid lane for Zenith, the other person can't even show up. Shadow Demon, he was trying to leech EXP. He can't go in the lane last hit because if you don't have 2 there, you just die flat out. Chaos Bolt being chucked out, and Tristo doesn't have to worry about mana because Shadow Demon.
They're going again.
They're going to go Chaos Bolt on CD. They're going to still go for it. Yes, they're going to try Chaos Bolt on top. Sunstrike on top as well. They're going to get that kill as well. And Tristo making out their life. Upper also making out life.
Oh no.
Look at the Wisp's EXP though.
Well, he dead now. That's a big bad Shadow Demon. They get another kill. Wisp low. This is with them like.
Look at Upper's EXP. He's gonna hit 6.
Yeah, he's gonna hit 6 really soon. I mean, had they not gotten the early kill, look how low the Wisp is. This could have easily gone completely the other way, but gets those few early kills, has a couple extra points and just levels to have some additional HP, and it's enough. They're getting the kills. He's gonna hit level 6 soon. That being said, Chaos Knight does take a fall. Juggernaut is free farming, but if I'm Neolution, I mean, I'm giving up a lot for this level 6 on the Wisp, but it's something I'm okay with because their lineup is entirely built around it, even to the point where they're going for Exort Invoker. Bottom lane, Ice 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 is going to salve up. He lives with 10 HP. No Sunstreak available for Teletubby. So close, and yet so far.
Man, he needs to either get a salve quick or get the hell back, because that Wisp, he's close to 6. I mean, I think that's the first place to actually get that gank off. If they do notice that XXY or Ice 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 is still very low there, he actually traps himself within the tree. So, okay, there's a salve being delivered, or Tranquil Boots even better, so he should be fine.
Nyx already getting close to level, well, or rather, Wisp getting close to level 6, but Nyx not getting that much experience. Only stay at level 3, will hit 4 soon. Compare that to the Naga Siren, X Freedom is halfway to level 6, so we may see the Wisp hit 6, but if X Freedom has a teleport scroll, like you talked about, that can be the counter to the Wisp. TP and drop your sleep, it gives time for the rest of the team to arrive, and you may even just be able to turn the fights around if, say, they're diving mid and they don't have that relocate to send them back, so we'll have to see, but that could be a support here that really negates the effectiveness of this Wisp, and well, they're getting, both of them getting very close to level 6, so it's going to come into play quite soon. Oh no, Courier actually dies, I did not catch that one.
How the actual... what?
I have no clue. Sorry I missed that one, guys. Let's see.
I mean, I don't think anybody could blame you for that one. That happened nowhere. There was no snipe going on or anything, and, well, Neolution just got hella rich off that freebie.
Yeah, some additional gold. Wisp now boots and bottle up. It's the bottle of Entreso, but Wisp just sitting on it, which generally is what you'll see, is she'll just hold on to the bottle because she can heal both of them up simultaneously. Has an Invisrate. They tether up mid, looking for Ice, won't find him. I want to point out, pretty standard thing when you're running TK Wisp mid is just having this hill ward so you can actually hit the Reality Rift even at nighttime. But Ice 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 is hit 6. 8.5 minutes in, despite being under a lot of pressure. He's up to full HP. And you can look to go on him, but he's so tanky that I think he'll have time for his team to come in and save him with the Naga Sleep, even if they do. So maybe not the target you want to go for anymore.
I mean, if they have Sunstrike on top, it definitely can get the kill. Yeah, especially if you have nice RGN luck with a Chaos Bolt, as well as the Spirits on top. I mean, they do a ton of damage, but Wisp now hits level 6. Let's see where those TP will come. Immediate ping. Immediate ping. The Dire knows that he's 6, but... uh-oh, here comes Chaos Bolt. No Chaos Bolt being dropped.
They're relocating.
Now teleporting on the bot lane. It's going to be on Ice Ice. Reality Rift for the Sun. Tether Sun on top. Chaos Bolt, 4 seconds. Sunstruck top. But there's a defensive disruption. Here comes the spin of Yamate. They want to kill Entreso. Entreso won't be ported back on the top lane, so he should be fine. But the counter gank on Teletubby, now that's going to be the big cost. He has Magic Wand. He's using the Magic Wand, but Yamate going to get the kill.
Boy,
He's tanky enough to draw those TPs. That's exactly what happened.
Were they prepared for that or what, man? Suddenly, 4 heroes bottom. The only one who wasn't there was XY, and he didn't have a teleport scroll. And that's probably just because the courier died. But Zenith says, you want a CK Wisp us, you better bring 5, man, because otherwise we're coming with the full squad. And off of that, they get a tower. The score now 4-3. They're grading their way. Only 1,000 gold lead, but the inefficiency of the Nyx as sort of the jungler really setting them back. He's only level 4, and it goes back to what you mentioned earlier, the not sending those sentries bottom quickly enough. I hear Sunstrike. Oh, what a juke by XY. I assume he knew it was coming, but here comes the Impale. Maybe enough to pick him off. No, he's going to live. 80 HP. Now the Blade Fury. Your magic immune. So, Wand's up. The Spike Carapace wears off. Yamate gets the kill. May pay for his life, but slowing down that Nyx is level 6. Maybe it's worth it in the end. They'll get Yamate. Killing spree for Yamate does go down the drain in the end. And for some reason, a Wild Orb of Venom on the ground. But
I think that might be
our lone druids, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. The big thing for me is that they were able to get that kill, and whenever you're Wisp and you get kills when your relocate is down, that's pretty good. Obviously, the gank attempt on the bot lane really kind of backfire, but you don't stop. You keep getting those ganks off, and you keep hoping that they do actually connect. And there's really good valid targets. If you ever find that SD, well, he's dead.
Yeah. I feel like it gets harder for Neolution to find these kills, because we didn't even see Son of the Siren in that fight. We didn't even see them just, if Zenith has to run. But they have such good defensive capabilities. Even a hero like Juggernaut, if he just Blade Furies at the correct moment, Blade Furies, as you see that Reality Rift, which does have a slight cast animation, he's not going to be an easy kill until Chaos Knight gets a lot of items. And Lone Druid, tanky enough to live through it. Batrider and Shadow Demon, probably the 2 heroes that are more likely to die But even then, there's disruption, there's Firefly. You may be able to live, throw a Flame Break out at the right moment, throw a Napalm to mess up the cast animations with the turn rate being slowed, and here we go. Omni Slash and the Blade Fury. Upper gonna take a fall. Yamate with the big solo plays. Next Freedom looking for a net. Tosses it from long range. Now will get impaled. Sunstrike to fly. It's actually a Meteor as well, but a disrupted Shadow Demon will take the fall in spite of that disruption. Now the Song popped. They're looking to get out of here. Wisp, no buyback? No buyback. Can't actually join the fight. So when it's all said and done, Zenith get a couple kills and they get out. They're taking the fight to Neolution.
Yeah, very, very surprising. I mean, the fact that you have Song up. The cool thing about the Song of Siren is that it also adds a little bit of synergy with Juggernaut. If the teamfight's going poorly, you Song, you put down Ward, everybody gets back to full HP. It's like
that's sexy.
Having like a team mech for a second time in a sense. And here we go, Flaming Lasso mid lane against Intriso. Well, dude's in trouble.
He dead. He very dead. And it just feels like Zenith has the better movement right now, and it was that first Wisp gank not going Neolution's way. That's where the momentum really started to shift, and now it's going to be hard for Neolution to come back because Zenith going to get some extra gold, going to get some extra levels. They'll throw the wards down, and they're more likely to see the ganks coming. They're more likely to live through the initial barrage. Not that Neolution can't come back, but it gets a lot harder to do it. And they still, the big thing, Lumi, no level 6 on Nyx. We're 13 minutes in.
Yeah, and he's going to have a tough time fighting these level 6s as well. Sunstrike back in mid lane. Well, that was going to blow up Illusion. So Teletubby, I mean, we've seen him snowball in Queen of Pain. He hasn't done much this game.
Invoker's, I mean, it can be a snowball hero, but this was a game where he really needed the help of his team to snowball. Laning against the Lone Druid, you're unlikely to get the solo kills. Mid, I mean, he had some bad luck, let's be fair. Just barely not killing that Lone Druid, who's sitting on about 10 HP, Ice. Maybe we just saw the low range of the attack damage there for the Invoker, and that made the difference. Even, you know, just 2 auto attacks hitting 72 instead of 78, maybe it's enough for the Lone Druid to live. So perhaps there's some bad luck, but it's not a hero that snowballs as naturally as a Queen of Pain, and didn't have that completely easy matchup like he did Queen of Pain versus Mag. So faced with a harder challenge in the lane, faced with the veteran savvy of Ice, and I also feel like strategically, I mean, hindsight's 20/20 like you always say, but I think the defensive tri-lane would have been a lot stronger for them. They could have kept Ice out of lane, they could have gotten the Wisp and the Nyx level 6 a lot more quickly, and at this point...
But they might have been dealing with a Blink Bat, so it's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say.
That's true, but I mean, the trades are not looking good.
It definitely is not. And Wisp does have to relocate, and when you're playing Wisp with level 6 relocate out, you stay it the hell out of sight, and once you want to set up a gank, well...
Yamate's looking for a kill here. Omni Slash and death. Easy.
So nice. Juggernaut, one of those heroes that you only see mostly in pub games, but in this high-level game, that magical immunity, or that invulnerability as he
top lane, relocate. Looking to go here. Oh no, there's the Reality Rift stun, but he's quite tanky. Pull back into the tether, into a Sunstrike. Ice. They're going to bring him down. Will they detether? Will they stay and fight? No, they're going to run. Batrider on the hunt. No Blink Dagger. Has gone Power Charge, but doesn't need it. Just gets in range there. Impale, not being thrown out. Carapace is inside of the Firefly. A temporary little stun, but now on the way out. Cast Knight rejoining the fight. XY, 2-second stun on him. The Wisp is here again. They're starting to snowball. The Wisp balls. Actually, the Darkseer Iron Shell will get the kill. And will they continue to chase? That's the question.
I mean, they got mana, they got sight, X-Freedom's on the run, the blue balls, they know which one's the real one. Where's the 10-second stun? There you go, there's a 3-second on top as well. It's so hard to run from this Neolution team. They got a couple of kills. Let's see if they get a tower. That's the big thing here. Because when Zenith got a couple kills on you, they got your tier 1, and I think they will be able to get it. Well, we do see Yamate coming in. He does not have his Omni Slash anymore, but he could. Blade Fury does a ton of damage, and this is a Lone Druid TP in. Last hit is no tether. Somebody, for the love of God, Chaos Knight get the last hit. Upper's gonna die to the Blade Fury. No tether to an ally. He does get off a 4-second stun, but it's time to get out, guys. Reality Rift just for a little bit of extra distance. Ice is in trouble. Is he gonna die to an Iron Shell?
Oh, what a nice impale by Noxum. There's no Omni Slash. There's a surge away from KYT. I hear a Sunstrike.
Sunstrike. Top lane.
Oh, Ice will live. I gotta say, all things considered, Neolution, they should be happy, because that looked like it could have been a whole lot worse. They already lost the Wisp. Wisp, unfortunately, the tether was on cooldown, so not able to escape there. If she had it, maybe could have tethered out of Blade Fury range and lived. Instead, just run down by Yamate. And we are really seeing the power of Juggernaut to deal with the Wisp. If the Wisp does not have a good start, you can Omni Slash her. It's great against Nyx because you don't worry about the Carapace, you're magic immune, or you're invulnerable when you're in Omni Slash form. You can assassinate the Nyx, you can assassinate the Wisp, and there's really not a whole lot they can do about it.
Yeah, I like how the team fight really went. Like you said, a wisp for a tower, a couple kills, but more importantly, Nyx Assassin got level 6 in that team fight. Mech is finished now on Darkseer because of that team fight and because he didn't die. It's time for Neolution to actually go for some big game. I mean, before that Juggernaut as well as a Lone Druid get big, you have some of the best timing on your mech and some of the best timing. You got relocate back up. It's time to do something. Whether it's a mid-tier 1 push, whether it's a big smoke gank, they gotta go.
I agree, but to revisit our earlier conversation, who do you go on? Yamate? Almost impossible to go on, because he'll just Blade Fury TP out, and what are you going to do against that? You can't just bring him down quickly enough with physical damage, unless you can somehow, say, relocate in the trees and he's not paying attention to the map and Reality Rift him, but realistically, he's probably going to see it coming on the minimap. Just Blade Fury TP out. Lone Druid, maybe a hero you can go on if he doesn't have backup. But if he does, not going to be an easy kill. I mean, at pretty much every hero, like we talked about before, even things like Son of the Siren.
Yeah, I'm going to say in big trouble. Sunstrike on top. Can he spin it off? He does not. Well, they just randomly run into him in the jungle, and that's a free kill.
Meanwhile, KYT in trouble of his own. He'll get flame breaks. He'll get disrupted. And he is most certainly not getting out of this one. Trading kills, I think something Neolution will be happy with considering their position. And, well, I guess that's one way to get Yamate. If you just run up to him in the lane, he won't see the relocate on the map, and that's a way to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was looking in the jungle for some farm and just got a little bit caught out. And CK, I mean, let's not forget CK is a fine carry in the late game, especially when he's getting a lot of assists like this. He is dying quite a bit, that's an issue, but level 4 Phantasm, or level 3 Phantasm is no joke.
The window is going to be when you get that BKB. Zenith will have some ways to deal with it still, but at least he's not going to get burst down quickly. They can lasso him. Actually, they have a lot of ways to deal with it. Who am I kidding? Purge, Net, as well as the lasso. That's a lot, and even just sleeping his team while you focus the CK is pretty scary. Plus, Yamate bottom lane gets pulled back in, but he'll Blade Fury, and now looks to man up on upper. Does he have Omni Slash? He does. He's running. He jumps in, but not necessarily the best Omni of his life. I guess it's going to work, though. Get some decent bounces there, only hitting the CK and his illusion once, and now in Tracer on the run. Yamate, there's your TP, but not going to be able to get away. Flame Break to cancel that. No lasso even needed. Net to fly, and Tracer is overextended. Wisp will take a fall. Really forcing the fight on the Juggernaut at the tier 1. You just gotta question that level of aggression.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be so hard to actually kill him, and even if you kill him, you're gonna take way too much time because he's spinning, he's Omni Slashing, that his teammates will be here, and that's exactly what happened. 3 or 4 teleport scroll came in, and some of those TPs are very, very long TPs at that too, and Yamate getting double kill worth of EXP. Drums, it's gonna be a, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a value point booster or even a full axe upgrade. I don't dislike a full axe upgrade, it makes you so much tankier.
It's a full axe and it's complete.
Oh wow. I mean, normally you say that's a pretty bad item because it only upgrades your ultimate and not too much of anything else. In this game, you just need to tank up and survive and your teammates will back you up. And that gives you a ton of HP.
Oh yeah, I fully agree. In the prolonged fights, it's just gotta be Zenith who take them. With the item advantage, with the healing ward, they're gonna relocate bottom, but Song was here. X-Freedom immediately prepared, and there's the counter to the Wisp relocates that you mentioned. They can't even go on him. He'll TP out, he covers the retreat, the vanguard for his team. Noxup maybe gonna find a wild courier here. Well, that would be something. Is there...
That thing is running so fast, don't even trip, he's fine. And Noxup, I mean, whenever he's ultimate, he hasn't done much because he's only level 7. That ultimate not lasting as long as possible. Also want to point out that previously the observer wards are so deep. We see a one that's deep in the enemy jungle right now. We also see one, it just timed out. It's right that Darkseer ran through that path. I mean, when you see the Wisp kind of like relocating, it gives you that extra second or two to actually react, which is big. Wisp is going to be tethering away to his ally. Meanwhile, XY got his blink. I mean, he did have a good time in the mid lane. Now he's very, very farm.
Yeah, and and Treso and Upper gonna start heading towards the top lane. Desperate to at least get this armlet complete. So he says, there's no point to a BKB. There's so many ways to lock me down. And I guess it makes sense. I mean, it's but there's still a lot of magical damage. Just Batrider alone is gonna hurt. So sure, BKB won't help you much, but now you have to worry about being kited by sticky napalm. You have to be worried about, I mean, even just taking some additional shadow poison damage. I guess it won't really help him much in the end, but it's just going to be hard for the CK to have an impact. Now that Zenith are getting to a point where they can start 5-manning, Aegis picked up by Ice Ice Ice, who has been really the forgotten man this game, Lumi. I think we've actually not talked about him for 10 minutes. There's been so much action elsewhere, but he's got a Midas, he's got a Maelstrom, he's got an Aegis, and now he'll work towards an Assault Cuirass. And that is really going to amplify the damage of a Naga Siren and a Juggernaut with the Riptide combo and the minus armor from AC. At first hit entangle, knocks him, so screwed. No! No! Oh my god, it wears off.
Not.
He lives with 3 HP. Unbelievable.
He should also not forget to use his Midas. There he goes. I forgot about like a good 20-30 second. Losing a little bit of value there, but no big deal. And well, good job by Noxum living through that one. He had popped the magic wand in a very opportune time and was able to make it out alive.
Teletubby has picked up an Aghanim Scepter. He's gone for 4 points at Quas and now picking up a 5th point in Exhort. So it looks like he maybe just maxi Exhort this game. EMP Tornado, there's only one set of Arcane Boots, could be decent, but I guess you really need additional damage at this point, so probably just going to max that Exhort, maybe go back for Wex after that, and now they're going to start working on this tower. The Forward Spirits come in, trying to slow it down. Maybe we'll see a clutch tower deny by them. Yamate, it gets the deny. Well played, but still, they're losing a tier 2. There's an Aegis, and the 5-man of Zenith is pretty damn strong. Neolution, they're going to need a big Vacuum Meteor combo. Unfortunately, the wall is only level 1.
Teleportation goes back to protect that top tower. Maybe that's exactly what Neolution wanted. Are they going to jump on Ice? No, he's just simply too tanky. His Bear, by the way, could go on the Wisp and basically kill the Wisp before he dies, so it's just not going to work out. The late game implication of the Radiant team, there's a wall, which it's not going to get too much. CK, who's not having a good start, might not be enough. There's also Alacrity on CK.
Relocate. They're not tethered. They're not tethered.
Not the CK, miscommunication right now. And, well, that was maybe a little bit better even than they didn't rid of CK, because they didn't go. Because if they went, they would have died.
Yeah, there was an Omni Slash there. There was a Lasso there. There was a Disruption and a Purge there. That was going to be a quick, easy double kill. So, wisely, they don't go in the end. Armlet now up on our Chaos Knight, but so many ways to kite him. Sticky Napalm, the Lasso, the Purge, the Net, the Entangle, the Omni Slash just to burst him down fairly quickly. It's going to be very hard for him to have an impact. It really comes down, I feel, to a big vacuum wall, maybe a Deafening Blast on top of it, some sort of crowd control to give the CK a chance to jump in and burst down a hero like the Naga or the Shadow Demon. Because if he could do that, then they don't have those defensive spells, and maybe they can take the fight. But without that, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I really don't see that happening myself. And here comes that slow siege. It doesn't look slow right now because that pair is so big at this point in the game. Blink Lasso on the Wisp, and that ball being focused, it's going to explode. Here comes the EMP in a vacuum, but here comes the Juggernaut ult. Mech's going to get popped, but that ult is just never stopping because of the Omni Slash with the Axe Scepter. Invoker goes down now. Bear probably needs to get resummoned, but they'll take that one and continue working on the tower.
They didn't even get scratched. Urn's going to keep them all alive. They can go for a tier 2. Now Zenith in command of this game. 10k gold lead, over 10k experience lead. If they win this game, guys, they move on. They will be your 8th team into Phase 3 with the 4 invited teams from last season's LAN Finals. Orange, IG, DK, as well as LGD China are going to meet with the 4 teams that qualified the hard way. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's Rattlesnakes, looking like it'll be Zenith. And actually, I just want to look because I'm curious who the other 2 teams are.
LGD Int?
Yeah, Chainstack and LGD Int. So, I gotta say, that 8 team sounds pretty fantastic to me. If that's the way it goes.
Chainstack looking a lot more impressive. I thought it would be something like Tong Fu, or maybe For Love, maybe one of the more Chinese team with a well-known Chinese player there. But Chainstack looking like, I mean, they're like a stack of random players, and they're doing so well.
Yeah, they really are a true international squad as well. They're quite a mix. And Treso looking for a tier 1 mid. They really just want this tower. They haven't been able to get the map control. Another reason the CK Wiz combo hasn't been quite as effective. There will be a disruption, and the CK Illusions start fighting each other, and Treso will back off. And you mentioned the wall and how it's not really that effective this game, and I just want to reiterate, it does nothing against the Lone Druid Bear. It's okay against Juggernaut because he has a passive Blade Dance, but you don't get Omni Slash, you don't get the Healing Ward, you don't get a lot of his big abilities, and well, Shadow Demon gets some CKs on his side, which are, in my opinion, much bigger than anything Darkseer can get, so we'll see how much this wall does, but it's not really an ideal game to have a Darkseer.
Yeah, and it looks like Zenith says, alright, time to go to round of 8. Maybe not, they're going to swing for that top 2, tier 2, which is basically free at this point.
It does feel somewhat inevitable. With Assault Caress coming on Ice, now Yamate has to have another item on the cart. It will be a Yasha for him. Drums complete on one of the supports, it appears. Probably our Naga Siren. Yep. X-Freedom going to pick that one up. And XY, 4 Staff and Gem. So if he finds an opening, if they lose anyone important and they don't have buyback, that could be it. Batrider looking for a Flame Break, who's going to drive everyone back into the base. AC, maybe they just wait for the AC. The Assault Caress only like 600, 700 gold away. But aside from that, there is just nothing standing between Zenith and going for the high ground.
Yep. Chaos Knight Phantasm also down. They use it for a tier 1 tower. I thought that was the invitation basically to Zenith City to push the base. I'm not exactly sure what Zenith is waiting for.
It has such a long cooldown. Something that people don't realize a whole lot about Phantasm. It is one of the longest cooldown ultimates in the game. It's very strong, but if you waste it, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, how they just wasted it. And I'm surprising that Zenith is not going in to take advantage of that.
I think they just feel very relaxed and calm about this game. Like, they know they don't really have to force the fight. Neolution's lineup, a lot of these heroes don't get stronger. Darkseer is not a Magnus. He doesn't get stronger the later the game goes, unless you have some hero whose illusions are ridiculous, like Phantom Lancer. Invoker, a hero that is really potent in the mid-game and now starts to scale off. They're not getting the big items like Scythe of Vice. They don't even have a pipe, in fact, which, I mean, is not the most important game to have a pipe, but they're not getting big items like Force Staves on their supports, Ghost Scepters, or anything to do with Yamate. So, because of all that, I think Zenith is comfortable if it goes a bit later. And it looks like, well, they're going to continue sieging. The AC on the way, I think. Yeah, AC is up, and I think this is Q to go and try to end the game.
Yeah, maybe the AC was overall what they were waiting for all along. Here we go, top tower, going to get siege. Bear is going to be in front. And there's a tornado, but Teletubby, he gets initiated on, and Teletubby not going to make it back home. As he gets rooted even. Oh, here comes a huge Omni Slash. Wall gets dropped, but again, it doesn't really do too much. There's a root on KTY as well. He's going to be done. Nyx Assassin's on the run. Bat Rider chasing. Flame Break not going to get the kill, but they don't really care. CK.
That crit!
That was nice. But
it was a Bat Rider who already did everything he needed to do. They're going to take this tier 3 top. They are looking at Rax and Zenith, poised to advance as our 8th team into Phase 3 of the G1 League's Asian qualifier. I gotta say, Lumi, the one thing that's really scary about this team, it's not their skill, it's not their strategy, as Ice maybe goes for a casual feed at the fountain. It is their versatility. Everyone on this team can play almost every single role. X-Freedom has played carry roles before. Heroes like Tinker. Ice can play that mid-invoker. He can play that off-lane lone druid. He can play that carry Naga in the safe lane. XY can play everything. The Tinker, the Invoker, the Bat Rider. This is probably the most versatile team outside of IG in the Asian region, and that makes them hard to game plan against. It really makes it hard to develop a strategy for dealing with them, because you never know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit as an extension to that, their picks, because they can play so many roles and so many different heroes, and it don't matter if you need 4 carries to 4 supports, they could all play that. Their heroes are quite different from what we usually see, right? Juggernaut is basically a common hero for them. There's a Dragonite we've seen from Yamate yesterday, but if you want them to play more conventional things, like Lone Druid, like Lifesteal, like Anti-Mage, they could do that too. So, I mean, Zenith not having the big names, it's not like they want TI2 or anything, but I think they could go pretty deep in the G1 League qualifiers.
And for anyone who hasn't heard, they've been practicing a lot. They are a team that obviously has been known for not really scrimming that much, not taking things that seriously, but for what I've heard, they have been practicing more than anyone else outside of Orange in Southeast Asia. MEFC has not had much of a chance to scrim, but Zenith, a team that I think their main weakness was just kind of a lack of discipline and practice. They're showing more discipline. I don't think they're quite at the level of a Chinese team yet, but combine their innate skill with their versatility and then throw a little discipline on top of it, that's a scary beast. So this Zenith team, a team that I could easily see making it to the LAN finals if they can keep this same level of performance up. But with all that being said, I mean, I think almost every team has a very strong shot at moving on. Even some of the underdogs like the Chain Stack, it wouldn't be entirely shocking if they could potentially sneak in as the 4th Asian team.
Yeah, I mean, Rattlesnake looking pretty strong there as well. I mean,
it's stacked. This Phase 3 is so stacked.
It is really, really stacked. And of course, since the game is kind of slow right now, we could talk about what's going to be happening with the G1 League Phase number 3. The first match on March 27th, that's LGD China versus LGD International, a rematch of the GESC Challenge Final, I do believe.
Yeah.
And, I mean, LGN not looking as strong as before, as a lot of their strategy is being figured out, but we haven't seen LG China too much lately either, so that should be a very, very good game to see.
I had the chance to spectate one of their scrims versus MEFC, and they're doing some interesting stuff, at least in their scrimmages. They were running an off-lane Lycan, and pretty much they play the Lycan like a lone druid. So you use the wolves to disrupt the enemy pull. You use it to pull the creep wave. You use it just to be a total nuisance. And in some cases, I don't know if I can't remember if he did it this game, but you can even max Howl if you have multiple carries. And then I hear like Gyrocopter just basically craps out damage when he's got that max Howl at his side. So they've been taking bits and pieces, it looks like, of LGD. And the one thing that needs to be mentioned is they've made a roster change. They've added long DD to their lineup, which gives them a very strong jungle player. Something they really haven't had. Like, they've had players in DDC who could sort of play jungle, but not to the level that long DD can. We might have the last fight of the game, though, in Treso, dropping quickly bottom. He's picked up a Sanj. He's tanky, but he's being kited. He's being focused. He'll take a fall. Wisp relocates, and will come back and die right after that, right after these messages. But yeah, the new LGD China, it seems like they are diversified a little bit and looking to be a little bit more unique. I mean, I still saw the staples for them. The Yao Magnus, the Shao 8 Beastmaster mid. So it's not like everything has changed, but it's more just like they're adding little bits and pieces from LGDN, and these two teams may share a lot of common heroes by the time the matchup actually happens.
Yep. Here we go. And the cool thing for me is that both teams they share strats, they share practice partners, they share a lot of even a lot of heroes like you talked about. And that's going to be interesting how the two teams actually match up against each other, because they obviously know the strategy and how each other's playstyle is going to work out. So I think it just really comes down to skill and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down just to individual skill. There's not going to be many secrets between these two teams, right? Because they just scrim each other so incredibly much. I mean, if they were playing each other in the LAN finals, maybe that's where you see they don't play against each other for a while. They try and have some secrets, but it's hard to keep secrets from people who live in the same house as you. So, well, we're talking like it's over, Limmy, because it is. No way out for Neolution. They're getting camped at the fountain. Zenith are going to move on as that 8th and final team into the G1 League Phase 3, and boy, they look like one of the strongest teams to come out of this qualifier, out of Phase 2, if not the strongest.
Yeah, I mean, again, the group stage is stacked. It's going to start at 27th of March, and I do believe is around the same time that it's now, maybe an hour or two a little bit earlier. So if you're like this time of the day, well, you're going to like it even more in a couple of days.
Yeah, I think the games start at like 4:30 a.m. Pacific, I want to say, which is 7. It's this match slot basically. So 7:30 p.m. Singapore General Time, or basically Asia time if you're over in the Eastern Hemisphere, and it's like 12:30 p.m. Europe. So it's actually not a bad time slot, except for people on the west coast of the U.S.
Except for us.
Yeah, but that's okay, because we love these games. We're devoting ourselves to cast them, and it's really an honor and a privilege, and the games have truly been worth it. And we're not even to the good part yet. That's the scary thing. I mean, we've had good games.
It's pretty good already.
It's pretty good.
Let's not complain.
It only gets better, though. It really only gets better from here.
Uh-oh, they're trying to find Teletubby. They have located his area.
Meanwhile, the throne. Not long for this world. And with one final slice, it's done. Phase 2, it's a wrap, folks. It's over, and officially Zenith. Now we could say it. They are the 8th team. They are the final team to move on from Phase 2. They look strong. So do a lot of the other teams. Chain Stack. Did I say the 8th team? I meant the 4th team. They're the 8th team into Phase 3. They're the 4th team to move on. Rattlesnake, Chain Stack, LGDN, and Zenith, all of them looking solid. But out of these 4, I gotta say, Zenith, to me, look the strongest. We'll see, though. None of it matters when you go into Phase 3. You start with a clean slate. If you got there, you got there. If you did it, you go home. So, Lumi, with all that being said, we'll take a one-day break, and then we will come back, and I guess it's like 40 hours, maybe 35 hours, maybe closer to 48, something like that. And we will have Phase 3 underway, where the big dogs enter the show. They enter the ring. DK, IG, LGD China, as well as RNG Sports. So with all that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. That concludes our Phase 2 coverage for the G1 League, but Phase 3 starting in 2 days' time. I'm LD, he's Luminous, we are Beyond the Summit, and David. And David, if you enjoy our casting, be sure to follow us. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/LDDota, and more importantly, follow Lumi, twitter.com/LuminousInverse. Be sure to watch everything on the G1 League website, g1.2p.com. And guys, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to take a one-day break, and when we come back, we'll have some amazing action headed your way.